Now, what's coming? We have two different concepts, the free variation and the complementary distribution. One of them is typically linked to a difference in pronunciation, and the other is different in the spelling and the position that the sound takes. What have you got first from free variation? Different versions of the same phoneme, and it is related typically to what? To pronunciation. It's a question here of accent. Okay, you see that the example given is given in two different accents, the American accent and the British accent. The result of free variation is that there is no change in meaning. The word dance here and there means the same thing. Okay, but the way British people produce it and American people do, this is the difference, and this is what is called free variation. But the new term or concept introduced here, it's the allophone. Okay, the production of the British and American accent, the two versions of that sound are called allophones. Okay, the allophones are representation of the same phoneme differently, but the meaning of the word doesn't change. What about the complementary distribution? What did you get from it? Complementary distribution. Here it's not a question of pronunciation, it's not a question of accent, for instance, it's a question of position of the phoneme. Two different pronunciations of the same phoneme are called allophones. Okay? Here the example is about the aspirated and unaspirated p. The initial consonant, as in pill, paper, for instance, and so on, you produce the p with certain push of air. That's why we call it aspirated. Okay? The consonant after S in sprint is unaspirated. Once just preceded by one consonant, it lost that characteristic of being aspirated. The respective transcriptions would be pill with that small h that stands for the aspiration, and sprint without that h. We have said that the aspirated and unaspirated p are two allophones of the same phoneme, which is p. Two different pronunciations. All the time, whenever the p takes initial position, takes the first, okay, is the first letter of any word, it is aspirated. Okay, you get the first allophone, the first representation. Whenever it takes another position, mid or final, it is unaspirated, and you get another realization of the same phoneme. Did you get the point here? It's not a question of accent. Here we are not talking about accent as with the free variation. No, here it's an example, the p sound. We may find other examples. Okay, but here it's a clear distinction between the two. Now, syllables and clusters. What you need to keep in mind in this part is that you have two different concepts, syllables and consonants. Clusters, sorry. Syllables, the word syllable is not something new for you, because all the time we have been asked to divide words into syllables, and the rule says we should rely on the appearance of vowels. The vowel is a must in each syllable. We have monosyllabic words, those words that contain only one vowel and that they are produced at once, like stop, for instance. Okay, big. These words are called monosyllabic words. And we have words that are composed of more than two syllables and so on. Okay, so here the problem is with how we divide and how the syllable is composed. They say it is composed of two main parts, the onset and the rhyme. The onset is the beginning of the syllable, it's the consonant, either one consonant or a few consonants, which are called cluster consonants. Okay, once we have two or three consonants at the beginning of a word, we call them cluster consonants. It's a combination of consonants. Now, this is the beginning. The beginning is called an onset. What's coming is the rhyme. The rhyme is divided into two other parts, which are the nucleus, which is the vowel, and the coda. The coda is not all the time present, okay? In our cases with he and to, there is no coda. We have just the onset and nucleus. It means the rhyme is composed only of one part, which is the nucleus, which is the vowel. If it will be followed by any other consonant, it is called a coda. If not, there is no coda, okay? Now, the existence of clusters as combination of consonants is not in all languages. Some languages have consonant clusters as one of their phonotactic rules, one of their components, and some other languages are not. English has consonant clusters, but Japanese, as an example, on the other hand, they don't have consonant clusters.